I'm Sonny Blacks and I want to support CultureShare. And wherever in the world I am, Canada, America or London, I'm going to encourage as much people to support CultureShare as I believe it in wholeheartedly.
CultureShare is today enjoying breezy conditions at the Trinidad Hilton Hotel overlooking the city of Port of Spain. It's warm, but it's breezy, it's wonderful. We are happy to be at what is known as the only upside down hotel in the world. We are here sharing company with one of this country's most illustrious promoters. His name is Sonny Blacks. He's resident in London. He has worked a lot out in London for a number of years. He now makes his home on the European continent. Sonny, it's a pleasure to have you with us on CultureShare. Tell us a little bit about what's been happening with your life, Sonny. First off, tell us about how long you've been in the business of promoting Caribbean culture.
Well, all my life actually, all my life. I've been in promotion business in Trinidad in a small way.
What kind of years are we talking about here, Sonny?
35, 40 years maybe.
35, 40 years, that's a mighty long time. I trust that with all those years of experience, you will have a bunch of ideas that you can share with the young and upcoming promoters who are today carrying the brunt of the business of exporting the music and culture of the Caribbean region.
I'm quite prepared any time to help anybody who wants to do something. I mean, it's not a selfish business.
Sonny, tell us some of what you have done in the years, some of the tours that you've conducted, some of the groups that you've taken around the world.
Well, firstly we went with the Dixieland Steel Band, which was won the music festival in 1960, and we were really the first steel band as such, with the same players that went to Europe in 1961 after having won the music festival. And that was the steel band responsible for bringing steel pan into England and Europe. We went to Rhodesia, to Switzerland, Germany, Denmark, very successfully. And from that band, a lot of other bands sprung up in England. So that was the first band. And that band was also responsible for making steel pans in Trinidad socially acceptable, in the sense they were all people in my age group at the time, Curtis Perez, Ferreira. It was all, we call them Portuguese people. It was all in colleges, and when they see this white steel band, that's right, when they see this so-called white steel band, I don't call them white, you know, I call people, all people to me in Trinidad, once you're born here, you're a Trinidadian. I don't look at the color of people's skin, but they have done something very important and substantial for the steel band movement.
Sonny, outside of steel band, you've done limbo, you've exported limbo, you've done calypso, you've done just about everything. Tell us about some of the limbo groups that would have toured under your directorship.
Well, there's a couple of limbo, as you know, that is so sort of, I mean, limbo really, we thought in the early part it come from Guyana, but but I mean, we have limbo coming in from Africa and all about. But limbo, but just people I was helping, but because I've developed my program into a much higher developed thing, more into stage productions.
Right. Tell me some of the Calypsonians who would have come to Europe and done tours with you over the years.
A lot. We took the Black Stallion and Denise Plummer before she was known to be a Calypsonian, really, in 1987 when Stallion won with Bandem. We did a very comprehensive tour with Roy Cape also, and there was only 8 or 9 musicians in all, and we was all in a minibus, but we did Finland, the first Calypso show to go into Finland. We did Sweden, Denmark, Germany, London, Manchester, and a lot of other places. And for example, when we were in Finland, we were very amazing on the big streetcars and buses. There was the Black Stallion name. And yes.
That must have been quite a thing.
That's right.
You've worked as well with Jimmy Cliff out of Jamaica.
Everybody's Jimmy Cliff, Jackie Edwards. These were friends of mine when at a certain period in my life in London. They were I was mixing with that Jamaican in crowd. And they were all personal friends, Danny Livingston, Danny Ray. In the upcoming years, I mean, we used to be together night and day, right?
CultureShare is we're very elated. We're very happy that we are now beaming to London. We are on 6 times a week on Identity TV, and the response from the viewership there has been quite positive. Have you been fortunate to catch the show there?
I have seen it, very good show. I mean, we're so encouraged to have something like this. Problem is that because of the cable, not much people are into cable generally into England, because you know, it comes in, if you have the facilities, it's going to develop, but the programs itself, I've seen, I got a tape of 3 hours a friend of mine did for me. It's very brilliant, very something we need, but as I say, it's not really absorbed into the Caribbean community.
There's a need for expansion, and I trust that you would be able to share some of your wealth of experience and expertise in the field of the music industry with the management at G.B.T.V, so that we can make what we are doing there an even better package. Could we not depend on you for that kind of assistance?
Of course, anytime I'm able to help, you know, I would always find the time to do what I could do. And as I say, with some other Calypso, and I really should come back to Calypso because it's my love. Because people like, in the early days, I grew up with Spoiler and Melody.
Oh, really?
Yes, and I used to promote maybe at that time, as a young boy, 15, 16, 17 years in Trinidad, I used to have about 6 shows a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, every theater in the country, all way out in community centers and small theaters. And Spoiler is my hero. That's why we are trying, not trying, I'm going to do something for Spoiler next year to develop the image back into the public in Trinidad.
So you've been bitten by this promoting bug from very, very early in your life, and it has continued even on to this time. You're talking about 35, 40 years in the business of promoting, and I guess you're fully committed to it. What is happening now? What do you have on on the table now? What do you have on the drawing table now?
Yeah, for the past few years we have been developing the Caribbean Carnival Extravaganza.
Oh, right. Tell us about that.
The most successful Caribbean production in Europe, and I would say in the world. It is in association with our designer Wayne Barkley, who directs the show from time to time. We took the show for the first time in the biggest concert hall or theatre in London called the Barbican.
Where is that? Where in London is that?
In the heart of London, in the city of London, one of the most prestigious venues. And this was the first Caribbean show being in there. And we did 10 performances, and they were very, very successful. They brought us in again the following year. And then to change venues and sort of develop the theme a bit more, we went last year to the Royal Festival Hall for 4 days. Again, very successful.
Who were some of the people who participated in that exercise?
Calypso Rose, our main lady, and like last year we took up 26 people from Trinidad. We did a tour of Holland, and we had dancers from England. We had Kurt Allen, Calypso Rose, Chanel Dempster, a young and upcoming singer, very fantastic.
I know Chanel.
You know Chanel. And you know, it was nice for the culture, because people in Trinidad, if you're a dancer, you don't get paid. So whatever we pay them, it is still an experience for them to go out there, get the tickets paid, they get all the food and some money that they can come back and help them in their life.
We've been hearing all sorts of reports coming from promoters abroad and from the artists. There are all kinds of problems in the industry relative to the staging of shows, concerts, even some of the fetes that have been promoted abroad from year to year. Share with us some of the ills that you are aware of as a veteran promoter yourself, and as well take the opportunity to share also some pills that you feel can be put in place to deal with these ills.
Well, you know, this business is not an easy business, like you would say, hey, listen, let's put up some money, let's put on a show. You have to have experience. Otherwise, people will think, like I bought in massive chandelier for the first time in England and Europe. And everybody now wants massive chandelier. But if people are going to invest money and don't know what they're doing, we are lacking venues in England. for Caribbean promotion.
So you identified that as one of the ills?
Major problem, major. We have in London 2 venues, which is privately owned clubs. About sort of a bit way out of the central mainstream area. You go to the country in Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, we cannot have venues. And if you do have a venue, you've got to finish at a certain time. And you know, Caribbean people like to come out maybe 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night to finish at 4. And we have a lot of new laws coming into England, for example, but that law doesn't exist in Europe.
Oh,
In Holland, you could go all night, or Denmark or whatever. But in England, we have the Health and Safety Act and this act and all them other acts that is sort of keeping things down.
So your suggestion is that we probably move out of the London, the specific London area, and campaign in other territories, probably embark on places like Denmark and the like.
Well, they do, because you see, as I was explaining earlier, I mean, our show in Holland, it was amazing with the people with a different language. And we did with Calypso Rose, Kurt Allen, Chanel Dempson, the team. We did in 32 days, we did 28 shows.
Oh,
and it was sold
hectic
out.
Stuff.
Hectic, but this is English Caribbean people.
What kind of audience do these people go
well,
into?
we always cater, like in Holland, for about 90-95% of Dutch people. In England is about 70% of English people.
So we are in fact breaking into virgin territory with the
Exactly.
culture, which is a great concern, has been a great concern for many years, because we often examine what we've been doing, and we come up with what is so very clear, that year after year we go out there and we perform to essentially one set of people, the Caribbean people who come out hungering and thirsting to hear some of their culture from home, and they come out and support the shows that are available. But what you're saying to me now is that going into those areas that you've just described, we are now cutting into virgin territory and so expanding the music to other taste buds and so on. Yes?
Yes, I'm saying that, but we also, with Calypso Rose, we had a show in Sweden one time. I took Calypso Rose as a Calypsonian, the most comprehensive tour ever undertaken. We did Nimes in France, the big festival. We went to TV in France, TV2, went to Denmark, Holland, Germany, Switzerland. We was in Sweden, and we had 70,000 people.
Oh, really?
Came to see Calypso Rose, 70,000 people.
Well, what venue was this?
This was where it was part of the Carnival celebration in Gothenburg. And there's a venue right up where the Carnival starts really. And it's an open-air thing that you could have looked down and see people as much as you could possibly imagine seeing.
Sonny, tell me, share some sentiments with me on any topic, any subject matter that I haven't asked you about, that you feel you don't want us to close this interview off without you getting a chance to mention.
Well, sentiments, it's such a broad thing, but I mean, we in Trinidad, I get very unhappy when I come to Trinidad in a lot of sense that the government, the people, and they don't really appreciate in the sense of backing it financially, our culture. Take our Carnival, I mean, it's really not done properly, not from the band leaders, but for the facilities to be provided. I've given them so many suggestions. And look at the streets of Frederick Street. Look at, they brought the Carnival into the boulevard. And I was there on Tuesday night, and it's a dismal place. That road should be paved with floodlit, so people could have come there and seen things. The pan on Carnival Monday night in Adam Smith Square, similar situation. When the steel pans was coming through, at a given time, there was no police there to direct the traffic, and cars was coming between the pans, and it was very dangerous. And these things are not organized, and I feel even from the tents I've been to, some of the tents, like the really vibrant young tents, they're not getting support from the public of Trinidad. this is our music and our culture, and it's been slowly dying. And when people are saying, okay, let's go to reggae, let's go to this, and let's go to raga, young people really are not in tune as we were to calypso. At that time, we only had a radio to listen to. Now we have FETs and TV and all this sort of thing that completely different to the time when we were younger.
Yeah, great number of distractions now that were not present.
That's right.
You know, in eras gone by. But Sonny, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of CultureShare to extend to you the fondest wishes for your career, your promoting career. We want to wish you best of luck. We know that you have a lot of things planned, and here is offering God's speed to you in your continued endeavors. And wherever G.B.T.V is able to cross paths with you and be of assistance, we want to seize that opportunity to do that. We want to thank you for sharing the time with us, and again, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a million.